and welcome to the first ever episode of Crack Disc, featuring your host, Rank
and Firehawk.
We're here today, and we've got a few different topics we're going to cover. First up, the good, the bad, and the funky. We've got coming up, a new game, Diablo 3.
15th March?
15th of May.
May.
15th of March already gone. We've got Diablo 3 coming out, so I haven't played the first two.
No, I've watched gameplay. It's a classic overview RPG kind of thing.
I've heard a lot about the original. I have got quite a few mates when I was back in high school when it was released that really enjoyed it. Never really looked at it, but having seen some of the trailers for Diablo 3, it's something I'm going to buy. Yes, buy, not pirate. Firehawk? Any comments?
Not much. I haven't had much to do with the classic RPG as per usual. About the only thing I got to add is if you're a Blizzard member, get it free. Can't complain about that. Looks good. I haven't seen much gameplay of the new one, but from all the hype, I reckon it's going to be pretty good.
So all our fans out there, the WoW players, Jimmy, we're talking to you. We've got a free game for you called Diablo 3. You guys, write us in. Let us know what you think of it when it comes out. Even the beta, anything like that. You got any comments at all? Leave them on our Facebook page.
Keep us posted.
Rightio. Moving on, we've got I think something that should definitely go on the funky from some of the pics that we've got of the new model of the Xbox. Xbox 720 is what it's been called. There's a few names being thrown around.
Not that original, I have to say, the 720.
Not the 720. But then again, the other thing that has been heard of as a rumor, because Microsoft actually haven't released any information on it yet. This is all hush hush. They E3, the Xbox convention, will not be providing any 720 info at this stage.
That's pretty crap. I'm just going to be honest here. That's
so
pretty crap.
Basically, that probably means on Microsoft standards that they're not going to be releasing anything before Christmas. So all of those out there that are looking to purchase the new consoles, the new generation, because Sony are releasing the PS4 in the next couple of years as well. We've got the Wii U as well.
I reckon the Sony will step it up the most.
Sony step it up?
That'll step it up.
Xbox, well, some of the rumours going about, there will be no discs. It's all going to be hard drive storage.
Well, speaking on that, the PSP, who was originally a disc format's recently gone to just online. You cannot get a disc anymore. It's the only way you can buy a game physically from a store now is you actually get a chip, stick it in the side of it. So.
Well, the something I was seeing the other day when I was flicking through a couple of the forums and pages for the 720 is actual using the chips for cameras, phone camera,
US or micro
SD cards to store games and transfer games, similar to the same system as a Nintendo DS.
To be honest, I don't like it because I reckon they're going to have to make the USBs so much bigger. The micro SD.
Probably, yeah, because the 720 is going to have 10. Hopefully, is going to have 10 times the processing capacity of the 360. Probably allowing Blu-ray. I've got my fingers crossed. I want to see an Xbox with Blu-ray capability. I'm sick of hearing from all my PS3 mates. Oh yeah, but our games have got Blu-ray capabilities. Our graphics are 10 times better.
And to be honest, the graphics is better, but that don't mean the games are any better.
In my view, I'm an Xbox fan through and through. I don't like the PS3. It's cheapening up the gaming community. I like paying for my Xbox subscriptions because, look at it. You're paying for a community. Gives Microsoft more power to buy specific games to keep them on the Xbox, whereas Sony's just sort of using its over graphics power to draw in its PS3 console.
It does
games.
have that, but I do like the free online gaming. Like, it doesn't give you everything in free. You can pay for certain things from what I understand. I could be wrong, correct me if I'm wrong. But it does give that ability to just get into the gaming community without having to cost you so much. It gives those people without, access to shitloads of money to be able to get in.
And the other thing I think that's come out recently is sort of those people who've had their Xbox for a few years, it's now breaking, have seen the fact that there's going to be a new Xbox in the near future, new Sony PlayStation, the PS4, or whether they rename it as well, something else, are actually going and buying the Xboxes because they're cheaper. I was a mate of mine actually that I was talking to at soccer training the other night turned around and said to me, you know what, my PS3 just broke. It's actually the Blu-ray disc reader on the Sony. My understanding, it's the most expensive part of the whole console.
Oh, it'd be the laser going, and that'd be shit.
Exactly. So we've lost the laser, and he just went in, traded in his PS3 without telling any of the guys. Just traded all the parts in and that sort of thing, and these games, and ended up with a brand new Xbox, off a used PS3, and also all the games that he had. It was only 10 games, he said, and he managed to get a used Xbox with 3 or 4 games with it as well, and he actually said that he was going to probably stick with Xbox now, just depending upon what they do with the next console. But if Sony's still got their prices through the roof.
Well, if anything, this is just going to step up the market for Sony and say, hey, look, we've got something on you. You better do something. And it's just going to make the whole gaming community more competitive.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. But I don't think that Sony have actually got anything big out there, brand new to release with their PS4, because that's why they held off on the release of the PS3. Xbox got in there, stole a heap of sales out of Sony because they released their console earlier. Now, Sony held off on it a couple of years, but had come back with their Blu-ray capability, and I think Sony ended up winning out in the end on a console-to-console ratio, based purely upon that they gave themselves a little bit extra time. Xbox, again, going to be the first to the punch, so they're going to be releasing their console around either towards November this year, make it available for Christmas. Of course, if you're ever going to release a console, that's the best time. You never release a console mid-year.
They could be just after Christmas, depending on how the development goes.
If they're ready to release after Christmas, they will hold off on it.
Yeah.
So that they can market it a lot better as well. But just looking at some of the pictures from the Xbox, I do like what they're looking at. They were initially looking at a sort of a rounded triangle design, bit like one of those toasted sandwich presses that cuts it into triangles.
I like the reference there, Rank.
Yeah, I'm hopefully not going to eat mine when I buy it. But yeah, like, will it have a Blu-ray? All these things sort of haven't been decided yet. Or if they have, they're not being released. So Microsoft are being very tight-lipped about this.
I don't think they want to give anything away.
No, they're not. And I think they're going to really put a big challenge on Sony this time. I don't think the new 2 consoles are going to be that different.
No, I reckon they're going to be fairly much the same.
They're going to be much for muchness.
It's going to be the games and how the games are played rather than the console itself this time, I reckon.
Then again, you look at the Xbox 360, they still have not been able to use all the capabilities of the Xbox 360 at this point in time. And you've just had your releases like Skyrim, for example. Huge game, right? You get to a certain point along in the game and it starts to lag. It's one of those bad issues, which they had to patch, and I still don't think they have patched it properly. I haven't played it much since some of the latest patches. And apparently they could have gone a lot better, graphics-wise. Just looking at the difference between graphics in the Xbox and computer versions. So whether we need to let the makers reach the capabilities of the consoles before either of these 2 release their new ones. Of course, Microsoft and Sony are going to say, no, we're going to release our new consoles. But
if they were smart, they'd let the game developers do more, and you'd get more customers because you'd have better games.
The level, you have to be feeding back off your game developers, and it's actually been mentioned, I think, by Sony. I did hear a rumour from Sony that they're actually working with, I think, somebody at Ubisoft or EA Games or something like that to develop their console so that they can develop games in line with the console, so that the developers and the developers for the console and developers for the game are working together, giving gamers better quality, better value for their money. So,
well, if gamers don't like something, like personally, if I don't like a game, I'm not going to buy it. Simple as that. I'm going to watch a bit of gameplay. I don't like it, I'm not going to get it. You make a good game, people are going to say, gameplay looks good, the review looks good, I think I'll go out and buy it.
Exactly, and I think it's something that definitely needs to happen in the near future. Okay, so we're moving along. Rockstar have announced Grand Theft Auto 5. I wasn't a huge fan of Grand Theft Auto 4. I didn't end up buying it at all. I've played brief little snatches of it, and Grand Theft Auto 4 looked bulky.
The fighting style, not fun.
Not
Driving
fun at
was
all,
just horrible.
Driving in Grand Theft Auto 4 was completely and utterly screwed. They needed to do something desperately about that.
Hopefully they'll fix that.
Since then, we've had the release of Saints Row the Third.
I haven't seen much of that, to be honest.
I've played Saints Row the Third on PS3. A mate of mine in Melbourne when I was down seeing him, and to be honest, Saints Row the Third puts Grand Theft Auto 4 to bed. And if people switched, if you got your fans from Grand Theft Auto 4 that are moving to Saints Row the Third, I'd say the Grand Theft Auto franchise is on its last legs.
It doesn't have much left, to be honest.
No, it doesn't.
It's been a good franchise. I'm not going to take anything from away. It did revolutionise the I don't know how to... It made its own genre, to be honest.
It did. It come out, broke all the barriers, and produced crime as a game.
Whether that's a good thing or not...
We've got the original, you've got Grand Theft Auto, you've got the original 2, you've got Grand Theft Auto 3, in, was it Vice City?
I think Vice City, and there was,
so you've got
Liberty. Vice City and Liberty City were a dual kind of thing, I think.
Okay, I played Grand Theft Auto 3 briefly, I never got very far into it.
No one did, everyone got bored and started shooting hookers.
And then you've got Vice City Stories, you've got San Andreas. I was a huge fan of San Andreas, purely because of the hydroplanes.
I did like San Andreas.
Flying over the military bases and just drawing all that heat from the cops and that, and trying to lose it, blowing up other hydroplanes was the better game, I think.
No one really focused on the story in the game. I hope they do something about that, to be honest, because I would like to see a bit more of a story. They did step it up in the later game, but what they sacrificed for story was the gameplay.
Exactly, the gameplay really suffered in Grand Theft Auto 4. If they'd slapped Grand Theft Auto San Andreas with the storyline of Grand Theft Auto 4, I think it would have been a very much community-winning game.
It would have been top of its class.
And that's the other thing. I want to see some online play coming out of Grand Theft Auto 5. I don't actually want to see all this you're stuck in the same storyline kind of gameplay coming out of it, which is one of the issues with Grand Theft Auto games.
Well, everything's moving online at the moment, so if they don't do something like that, they're screwed.
I mean, we've even had the release of Need for Speed
World,
yeah. So
new MMO.
MMO Need for Speed. If Grand Theft Auto can't step up and do something like that, maybe Need for Speed should take over the Grand Theft Auto franchise instead of Rockstar. I mean, at least if Need for Speed did that, Grand Theft Auto would have had good cars. Number 4 would have had really good cars, great traction. You came up to a corner in Grand Theft Auto 4 and you could not turn around unless you slowed right down. It was horrible.
You knew you were going to slide.
Yeah, exactly. It was you're looking at the power pole on the other side of the road as your turning device. There was no, I'm going to make this on my own. It was, whereas Saints Row, you could attack corners and you could throw the cars around and you could develop the cars.
The only thing I didn't like about Saints Row was too cartoony for me. Like, if I'm going to play a crime game, I should say, I don't want that I don't know, ridiculous. I want a little bit of seriousness in it. Just playing, like, the brief moments I played, you get achievements for jumping off a bridge and landing on your gang's car. Like, I mean, come on. A lot of people thought it was good. I don't know.
Dude, if you could do that in real life, I'd give you an Xbox achievement for it, no problem.
I'm not going to jump off a bridge.
Well, it was worth a try.
If you get enough likes, maybe I'll give it a shot.
So guys, if you want to see Firehawk over here, my co-host, jump off a bridge, we'll stick a car underneath him, we'll paint it bright green, our game colour will be bright green, and we'll toss him off a bridge and see if he can land on it. We'll give him an Xbox achievement for it. Do you guys want to see that? But yeah, going back to Grand Theft Auto 5, We've seen the trailer for it. We both watched the trailer.
Graphics have stepped up remarkably, I have to say. From the latest Grand Theft Auto game, like, the graphics were still in its, I don't know, PS2 era.
They were very PS2-esque. And it was sort of like when the PS2, the last sort of stage of the PS2, all those 3D cartoon shows, it kind of looked identical to some of those. So
yeah, I hope... It looks the graphics look so much better. I don't know, maybe it's because they've stationed it in a different area.
They have. Do you know what city it's in?
LA, I think it's in.
I think it's in LA. Yeah, it definitely looks like it is not based in the same city as previous Grand Theft Auto games. So we've gone away from Vice City, what was the other one? San Andreas, Liberty City. We've gone away from all that and they've grabbed a new city. Which is interesting.
A bit refreshing, I have to say.
New gaming environment. Let's hope they can do something with that.
Well, it looks like they have. Like, just following the trailer, like, even the flying in the other game, it was a bit, I don't know, how would you put it, crap, to be honest. Like,
Yeah,
it took you a little while to
yeah.
get used to. Hopefully they've amped that up. Just looking a bit at the bit of the gameplay, I can't say the controller, but the flying actually looked kind of good.
It's something that's certainly more realistic. You're not going to be crashing a chopper through 3 floors of a building and walking inside the building to find your chopper's blades are actually on the floor of the building level above.
I just hope, like, with a lot of these open source game or open world games, I should say, there's a lot of glitches in the world. I just hope they've kind of, gone away from that. Because, like, Skyrim, like, I don't know, I haven't played much of Skyrim.
Skyrim did tend to glitch a fair bit. For example, I actually had a mate who... I bought the guide for Skyrim. Don't blame me for that. My girlfriend is very new to gaming, and Skyrim was one of the first games that we did play together.
Yes, we do have girlfriends.
Yeah, we both have girlfriends. It's unbelievable. Don't ask us how. And I bought the guide to assist her. She found it utterly amazing. Really loved the guide. Well done for the Skyrim crew. And for example, Skyrim, I had a mate borrow the book because he could not finish one of the. It was the Mages Guild quest, searching for the books of Shorag Grogab or something like that. And
I love the naming there, right?
yeah, it was something similar to that actually. It was an orc character, the librarian in the Mages Guild, and he wanted the books. And it was the door. You come in through one end of a dungeon, but there was also another entrance to the dungeon. But it moved through the dungeon, but you couldn't actually link the 2 paths together. It was sort of you come in through the back one and sort of skip through most of the first half of the dungeon. Now, a mate of mine borrowed the book, and because he told me, the quest marker told him that the book was at the top of a cliff in the middle of a dungeon.
How does that work?
Now, there was no... The quest marker, he used the clairvoyance spell to show him the quickest route to the quest objective. The quest markers led him through this one end of the dungeon, and he physically could not get to it. Using the Skyrim map guides that are provided in the book and all the detail in that, he was actually able to find the second entrance and get around and finally find the book. He'd spent, I think he said, 20 hours trying to get to this book, using every shout, spell, everything he knew.
I ought to give a shout out to the makers of this guide then, I think.
Yeah, but, okay, so we're going Grand Theft Auto 5, 5 crack disc scale, yes, we're using crack disc scale.
This is
I'm
new.
gonna, for my excitement to see the game, 4.5 crack discs out of 5.
I'm going to give it 4 just purely for the hype and the look of the game.
Yeah, it's certainly gonna give a lot more of a challenge to Saints Row.
If Grand Theft Auto can step itself back up, I think it'll have another few more years in the limelight.
Exactly,
honestly.
like Grand Theft Auto now, they've made, I think it was 10 games. They've now made at least 10 games.
Over a dozen consoles.
That's exactly. They've been at the end of their tether. Maybe it's time for them to give it up. We'll certainly find out with Grand Theft Auto 5. If you guys want to comment on it, just add a post on our Facebook page again, Crack Disc on Facebook.
We will be checking this regularly, so
Checking
don't
it
worry, we will comment.
Moving right along, Dark Millennium. Now, this is not a game I'm totally ever heard of before.
this is more for the Warhammer people out there, which is mostly my kind of
So, guys,
area.
don't even question me on Warhammer. If you see me on the Facebook page, don't ask me a Warhammer question. Same with my good old buddy firehawk 8312 over here.
Pretty much. Looks like it's going to be an MMO. Looks like it was going to be. I was really kind of excited for it. I looked it up. Possibly going to put a competition in for WoW and Knights of the Old Republic, the MMO. I can't actually quite remember what that's called. I think it's Knights of the Old Republic. I'm not sure.
It's the new Knights of the Old
Yeah.
Republic. Something similar to that.
Yeah. But anyway, it looks like it was going to give a challenge, but they've actually changed it to more of a Space Marine kind of game. For those of you who actually played Space Marine and enjoyed it, I think it's going to be pretty much the same as that. Did Rank play Space Marine at all?
I told you, no Warhammer.
Dude, you're missing out, man.
I've never played any Warhammer. My girlfriend's little brother paints all the little Marines, and I can't get into it. I'm sorry. I'm actually one for those futuristic space style games. Yeah,
but
I'm not for it.
They still haven't given us a solid release date, which is kind of pissing me off. I don't know how Rank's gone with gaming companies not giving you release dates, but it's just a pain in the arse.
Well, that's what I was saying with the 720. I'd like to see a release date for it. because it pins it down. It's actually giving us when they're going to release it and what research they can do in the time.
And people are going to be like, oh, they're going to do this well because they've got this amount of time. I'm so excited. I want to pre-order it because I want to see what it's like.
Well, this is the other thing, going back to the Xbox 720 again. Gaming companies need to, I reckon, give at least a year in advance of when they're going to release their new consoles. This allows the developers to plan and say,